briefed on the latest alleged drone incursions in Denmark. What do you think of that? And
Where are they?
In Denmark, Copenhagen. Denmark is saying that there were some drones that shut down the airport, possibly Russian sabotage. What's your response to that? Will the U.S. have a material?
Well, I have no response until I find out exactly what happened. I know about it, but they don't know what happened. But we're going to find out.
So how does this come to an end? Much like Russia-Ukraine, how can this come to an end? Is there a deal that can be made?
Ben sadece şunu söyleyeyim.
I can only say this. Mr. Trump,
Bir ifade
you might remember he's used a term
Ukrayna savaşını
when
ben bitiririm.
he said, I will finish the Russia-Ukraine war.
Bitti mi?
Did it end?
Hala devam ediyor.
It still goes on.
Aynı şekilde
Similarly,
Gazze savaşını ben bitiririm.
he said, I will finish the war in Gaza.
Bitti mi?
Did it end?
Hayır.
No. That means
Demek ki
once we start analyzing the issue, there are prices to pay.
faturalar ödeniyor.
And when we look at the hostage exchange, that was done.
I know your staff read the post from President Trump that he posted on Truth Social after your meeting, but in part he said this: after getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option. Are you surprised to hear that?
A little bit. A little bit. I mean, this, I'm sure in my people, in my army, and I'm sure in strengthening of in support of the United States. But President Trump was more positive in it. And he showed that he wants to support Ukraine to the very end. So we understand now that we are ready to finish this war as quick as possible. And he wants, and I want, and our people want. But he understands that Putin doesn't want, and he understands that he is not winning, but he says to everybody that he will win. And I see very it was a little bit surprise for me. You're right. I was very positive signals from the side that Trump and America will be with us to the end of the war. Yes, as we will see. Right? We will see. But God bless.
Donald Trump's recent comments about Ukraine have exposed just how chaotic and inconsistent his foreign policy really is. For years, one of his biggest campaign promises has been that he could end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours because of his great relationship with Vladimir Putin. He repeated that line over and over to his supporters, presenting himself as the only man who could bring about instant peace. But now, during the United Nations meetings, Trump admitted something shocking. He said he thought it would be easy. But his relationship with Putin didn't mean anything. That one sentence completely undermines his entire argument and shows that he never had the influence he claimed. Instead of projecting strength, he exposed weakness. And then, in typical Trump fashion, he immediately tried to cover it up with wild contradictions. Within days, he went from sounding like Putin's best friend to suddenly calling Russia a paper tiger and insisting that Ukraine can win back all of its land. His press secretary even went on Fox News saying, "If Putin wants to fight, bring it on." Think about that for a moment. The same man who claimed he would bring peace in 24 hours is now openly escalating rhetoric, encouraging a direct fight with Russia. That's not strategy, that's chaos. And it shows that Trump treats international conflicts like reality TV, changing the storyline whenever it suits him. The confusion doesn't stop there. Even Ukrainian President Zelensky seemed stunned by Trump's words. When Trump suddenly said that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace, Zelensky's reaction said it all. He looked genuinely surprised, almost as if he couldn't believe Trump had just blurted that out. That's the danger of Trump. He doesn't think through the consequences of his statements. One day he writes a letter to Hungary's Viktor Orbán complaining about Ukraine striking Russian oil depots. The next day he says he'll personally call Orbán to stop buying Russian oil. These contradictions make America look unreliable to its allies and unserious to its enemies. And while Trump tries to spin his words as proof of strength, what they really prove is recklessness. Leaders like Putin, Erdogan, and Orban know how to play this game. They look for weaknesses, and Trump constantly provides them by contradicting himself and confusing everyone. Even Zelensky, when asked later about Trump's remarks, admitted he was a little bit surprised, but tried to take it as a positive signal. That says everything. Ukraine doesn't know whether Trump's words are empty promises or real commitments, because his record shows he flips positions constantly. And at the end of the day, this is not about tweets or Truth Social posts. It's about real lives, real wars, and the future of international security. Trump promised quick fixes and peace, but what we're seeing instead is proof that his foreign policy is unstable, inconsistent, and dangerous.